Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of Video Ditch. Today we've got a very special guest. Nick, you want to give him the intro treatment?
Absolutely. The PlayStation 1. The games made in the PlayStation 1 were made in an era where Japan was in its worst state ever. The bubble had popped. People were swarming the streets. Cigarettes were being smoked at an all-time high, and depression was at the same rates. However, during this time, some of the greatest mascots, most beautiful games, most exciting colors, most vibrant scenery was put onto one specific console, the PlayStation 1. And on this console, everyone looked at it, they played it, they loved it. They said, we should drop all this stuff and never make anything like it again, make stuff really brown, make stuff really boring, make stuff really unfun, and try to copy something from our favorite HBO series. But we have with us today one person who looked back at these games, who was inspired and took from it the lessons you were supposed to and said, well, what if we made something like that again? What if we took those lessons and those inspirations, we made something fresh, new, exciting, and frankly wonderful to play. And that game is Blast Cats. And with us today, we've got the developer of that game, Blast Cats developer, aka Blast, aka Puke Deluxe, the almost single-handed strong man supporting the whole damn project. And here they are. Great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show today.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Fantastic.
Yeah. We'll be giving him the classic Video Ditch treatment today, going over his history, talking about the game itself, and looking a bit beyond towards the future. But I suppose if we're ready for it, why don't we just get right into your history? Nick mentioned it right there with the PS1. Is it safe to assume that that's kind of where your journey with video games began? Or was there even more history behind it?
Yeah, that's, I guess, the more formative years. I think my very first console was a good old NES.
Okay, right on.
PlayStation 1, we got it. It was interesting because from somehow or another, we didn't actually buy games a whole lot. We just rented. And then those rentals become CD burns. So we just had a bunch of CDRs with Sharpie on it. And I would just, every once in a while, just, here's some random games. And it's, I don't know, Siphon Filter for the PlayStation 1. I would never have been exposed to that otherwise. Or, also, I had tons of the Pizza Hut demo discs. That just
nice.
Had
like a jam pack. Yeah,
love those. Were excellent. And I mean, as a small kid, it didn't really matter to me if it was only like a 10-minute, 30-minute experience. I would just play it over and over and over. So I just had a whole lot of weird stuff.
Nice. Yeah, just very specific vertical slices of a lot of projects. That's fun though. Okay, so the PS1. With like the sort of mascot platformers, were there any specific ones you gravitated towards? I think a lot of people will draw comparisons to Crash Bandicoot with your game. Was Crash a big part of your life, or were there other?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely Crash Bandicoot, definitely Spyro.
Yeah, okay.
Man, a little bit of Croc. I think it was a rental. I didn't really have a lot of N64 games, so I missed out on Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, of course, I had Mario 64, or at least I played it at a friend's house or something.
Sure, yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, those are the big ones.
Okay.
Yeah, no Bomberman, huh? That's surprising.
Oh, well, there's a little bit of that. Bomberman was always like an extended family game. I for some reason, I just never had it. The only Bomberman game I actually owned personally, which is strange, was the racing game for PS1, which is not really a Bomberman game.
I thought you were going to say the Xbox 360, like gritty.
Oh,
Bomberman
right. Yeah. It's just some of that, I guess, just the DNA, the idea of Bomberman's present, and that, you throw bombs. That's all that really matters. The multiplayer stuff. Who cares? But yeah, so out of all of that and coming to where we are today, was your plan always to create something kind of emulating that PS1 feeling, or was it something that you had in mind for a long time? Was it something seeing these other people with the sort of PSX indie resurgence, or what was the thoughts there? What are your thoughts on it as a whole as well?
Well, I saw a lot of people doing it, and I thought it was pretty neat. So shameless bandwagon hopping on. However, the philosophy behind, I guess, that kind of game, I value that more than the aesthetics. So that's the opportunity to combine that a bit. Is just natural, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you bring up a good point. I feel like there's a fine line you have to toe between like wearing your inspiration proudly on your sleeve and then like avoiding pandering. How did you balance that through design choices and developing Blast Cats?
I want to say I got a lot of strong opinions that kind of form how I want to go about things.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think that we really don't want every little wart that comes with the old PlayStation 1 days. We want whatever made us feel something. And if you can get a gist of that, then I think that's enough. We don't really need extreme draw distance issues.
Yes.
You don't need maybe a little bit of Z fighting here and there, but most people don't want to deal with any of that. Small resolutions, they're only novel for a little bit until you try to hook up to a large modern desktop. And it's something. The philosophy is more important to me because that's when a lot of risks are being taken. No one kind of knew what a 3D experience is supposed to be, or how to take a 2D experience and expand it with new hardware. I think studios were kind of left to do more creative things than now. I guess now we have different types of experiences, which most people enjoy, but the resurgence of PlayStation, PSX, all that kind of stuff, retro indie games, is an interesting niche related to all that.
Totally. What about platforming in a 3D space excites you more than doing it within a 2D plane?
Oh God, it's a nightmare for one. I feel like there's probably a reason why it's not so popular anymore. It requires a bit more going on, and I've seen some interesting attempts on how to alleviate depth perception issues. And I don't know if that's a solved problem just yet. So that makes it interesting to me that it's a little bit difficult. And I don't know if I will ultimately succeed. I just want something that's an honest shot at it.
Okay. And yeah, before we get into talking more about the game itself, I suppose, your history with game development, where did that begin and how did that begin for you?
Yeah, this is a first project. I mean, fantastic stuff. I've never even touched a terminal before. I would be flabbergasted, frankly.
Well, I want to say I was either 11 or 12, and I downloaded a free copy of Animator. It's an old 3D modeling software. And I always wanted to make my own video games ever since I had a PlayStation 1 or N64 in my house. Oh man, this is so neat. I want to do the exact same thing. I would make all these childish scribble design documents that would go nowhere. And then I want to say around 2016, 2017-ish, Unreal Engine is what I use. And that became, I think, free to use for the public. That when it first came out, you had to pay a subscription, and then they did away with that. And so I just go, I have less and less of an excuse not to pick this up. I've dabbled around with other stuff, but Unreal really stuck with me. So it's also the same time I started picking up music composition. I kind of boot camp my way through it. I challenged myself to go from zero to something where I would make a song a month, and they weren't that great, so they're not uploaded anywhere. But it was a great stepping stone to figure out how to operate a digital audio workstation.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't undersell the process enough. You just got to put the hours in. Frankly, right on.
Yeah, it's worth it. The music is really, really outstanding. Not to get too far ahead of myself, but the kind of jungle, really exciting style is one, I really like it, so I'm pretty biased, but two, it really fits the whole aesthetic and the personality of the game. It really complements it very well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right on. Did any of those childhood concepts you feel make it into Blast Cats? Anything there that remains?
Yeah. Ancient scratch paper drawing of CC from when you're 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess I feel like at this point it would be unconscious. I'll just find it one day and be like, oh wow, I didn't realize that I brought that back.
It was just in there, the whole time. For sure. Okay. Any other personal favorites aside from Crash or Super Mario 64 from that era?
I like a lot of the, I guess, Final Fantasy 3D games.
Okay.
I didn't actually have a whole lot of 7 experience, so I'm into 8, 9, 10.
Oh yeah, okay.
We had 8, and it was just this multi-disc thing that I feel like we never knew how to play it properly because that's a
Yeah,
mysterious
of
game
course.
to play.
Yeah.
So it would just be this. How far can we get until we get frustrated and forget about it?
Yeah. I'm level 80 right now on disc 1. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Yeah.
Man, so those are enjoyable. And then let's see. Then I started kind of getting into PC gaming.
Oh, okay.
So super into Team Fortress 2 when that came out.
You and Nick could,
that's what I want to hear.
Too much time into that.
Same, man. So many hours, not wasted, but I guess
spent.
Enjoyed. Yeah. Only ever playing Soldier, of course, but very fun.
Yeah, I was Soldier Demo Man.
Oh yeah, all that. You love the explosions too. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think Demo Man is kind of some inspiration of what I wanted in Blastcat's movement mechanics.
Oh, we got CC sticky jumping.
The very first demo I released a long time ago. There's that bomb jump move where you
take a little bit of damage,
launch yourself. Mm-hmm. That's when I simplified it. In the first one, you would like place a bomb behind you and detonate it manually, and it was kind of my approximation of a sticky jump.
So it was it's there.
Long story short, I don't think it worked out too great, and it was also very prone to really nice bugs, which were funny to see.
Yeah. I mean, I see this now. I really do like the current system because, like, you want to use it constantly because going that fast and being that powerful is fun. But then you die, so that trade off is a nice little thing to play with.
Yeah, I've had lots of people talk about that one. It's kind of a polarizing topic. I have some people that swear up and down like you need to never change that. It's perfect, etc. Resource management, and then I have others that say like, oh, I hate this. I want to use this all the time, but you won't let me. And
exactly, that's the point.
It's an interesting thing. I you know what? I think it's a great sign when something's polarizing because it makes people care and think about it.
Mm-hmm. I'm on the side of never change it. Don't listen to the hedonists. They just want to zip through everything. They don't care.
I'm a little biased, and I think what I got kind of hitting the limits of what I would like to do for platforming. There's already other very successful titles that focus on like true expression platforming. Like you can do chaining moves to get to new heights, and it's really neat. And I just feel like, you know what? I'm not going to fight that battle. I'm just going to go maybe towards action adventure.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of ties into the next question I had for you. Like, what values? Because you mentioned you appreciate the philosophy of those titles more so than the aesthetic. And my next question was going to be, what are those values from that time? But
well, your gaming philosophy.
It's hard to overstate that phrase uttered. Like, if it's not fun, why bother? It's a huge important thing, and games don't of it. So not to get too silly to make it all pointless. Like there has to be at least some purpose as well.
Yeah. Okay. Totally. Not necessarily like a sense of reverence, but enough, to give it meaning. I hear that. Okay. Well, Nick, any questions about Blast's gaming past before we get into the title of the day?
Yeah. So we've gotten a lot into the actual gameplay and the feel of it. But in terms of the actual style and the aesthetic, what would you say are the inspirations that you pulled from to make CC and the whole world of Blastcats? Where did that come from? Was it purely from these old games or anything outside? Maybe a crazy book you read or something? Or maybe you watched Naked Lunch and it left a lasting impact somehow in there? Anything like that?
Well, yeah, I guess it's a lot of looking at the good old days and seeing what they had to do and those technical limitations. I think I like having a bright colored character in a kind of glumish world, even though it's still bright. It's a little bit muted. I guess my most the most inspiration I get is from developers like Goichi Suda. Like,
wow, okay, perfect.
Yeah, I knew we would get along.
Speaking our language, yeah.
It's I think. I guess I don't know why I didn't even mention it, but like Killer 7 is probably one of my.
You wore the wrong shirt today, Nick.
I know. Should have worn my several Killer 7 shirts. Really cool. That's fantastic. Who's your favorite?
So it's just kind of like an unapologetic like style to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you a Coyote guy? You a Dan guy? What are you all about?
Masked.
A lot of Mask, a lot of Dan. But I think I also have to rep Khan.
Oh, Khan, yeah, hell yeah, dude.
He's fast. He's good.
Yeah, love a blind
He's
boy.
dangerous.
Like when he shoots people and he says, "Fuck you."
Yeah, sideways. So cool.
Yeah, they're all nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something about it. Garcian, like
Yeah.
Harmon and Killer 8.
Truly. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Personality, yeah. I mean, your game from what, from what the demo already has to offer, there's so much personality on offer. I suppose the question there, help me out here, Nick. The question there regarding the personality in the game.
How'd you do it? Where'd you get your ideas from? No. How'd you go about implementing that, I guess? Was there like an initial drafting process? Did you go straight into Blender, just start sculpting like Michelangelo or one of those guys?
From a research perspective, like with the FMVs, those specifically, I was curious about. Like, did you just kind of look back on previous work made by other people? Like, okay, this is what they did. I'm just gonna recreate that, or was there more of an in-depth?
The way I approach these kind of things is that there are ways of doing things unrelated to video games. So an FMV that's made back then is really just trying to make a movie with a new technology at the time that barely anybody knew how to use or had like the technology to run effectively. So there'd be lots of like shortcuts, or they wouldn't know how to do some of the complicated stuff that we take for granted today, like UV unwrapping. They would just slap something on and hope it looked good as a texture. I think my biggest inspiration when it comes to FMV stuff is the show is like Poppy the Performer, and then by the same directors, I think a show called Funny Pets. It's like Japanese older CG, cartoons essentially, where the whole goal was to make a cartoon. It just, there's always an importance to like the why. I think of like why did things in the PS1 happen the way they did. Like I really wanted to do the CGI like cutscenes because that was like a huge selling point. People would look at those FMVs and go, "Oh my god, these graphics are amazing!" Completely ignorant of the fact that it's not graphics; it's a movie. It's almost like false advertising. Like you'd see these nice box arts with like the most crazy CG, and then the game. It's like a bunch of polygons and Popeye proportions, and it's
Final Fantasy VII style.
That's the big one. Yeah.
A shot of cloud looking characters. Up. Yeah.
I saw that. I was entranced. I was hooked. I didn't even care. I didn't even notice, so stupid back then. It's like, yeah, it's the same guy.
Well, it's a nice like dual attack of like you can prep the mind to like, no, this is what it's supposed to look like, even though you're not going to see it there. So like it's like kind of talking about like pixel style or low res. The mind is left to fill in the blanks. But when you have that like FMV companion side, it's like, well, that's where it's trying to take you.
Yeah,
it's a little directed,
like a treat. It's like a little reward for progressing through the game. You get that nice little slice of action too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well, I really appreciate how you're taking note of the technical limitations of the games from that era and how that influenced their design when you're creating your stuff. I think that's very intentional and mindful. We love to see it. With the game itself, I suppose, we're talking about it now, but for viewers and listeners who haven't seen the game, haven't played the demo, if you had to pitch it for them, how would you describe it?
Well, Blast Cats is a retro, old school 3D platformer. It's a love letter to the old PlayStation classics, but also trying to be its own thing. If you liked weird games from the GameCube, the old Love Blast Cats, it's trying to give a fresh experience that pretends to be retro.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. And I would also say anyone who's liked a single game that we've ever covered on here, I can guarantee you will enjoy this game. If you play it and you don't like it, come meet me at MagWest. We'll hash it out, but you're wrong if you don't like it.
Very good. All right. With the music, what's your process is like a huge kind of open question. I suppose when you're designing music for a level, where does the process begin there? Do you have a theme in mind, like based on the aesthetic of the level, and that influences what instrumentation you choose? Or is it, I have music and then it kind of fits nicely into something that I'm making afterwards?
It's usually like a goal of like, okay, I want to make this kind of level, which starts at listening to a lot of music. It's always like I'm like listening to music while I'm like playing stuff or making stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of wish I could get something like that sound.
Mhm.
And then I try to do it. I fail spectacularly, but that failure becomes something completely unique to me,
Mhm.
and then I work with it from there. It's a fun process of frustration, but like it's I guess I'm getting better at it. A lot of
Mhm.
when I
Totally,
guess I
yeah.
felt like a lot of accidents. You know, like, oh man, I accidentally got this going. Now I kind of figure out what I'm doing, and then there's like an interesting community about sound preservation that kind of
Mhm.
kicked off with the whole PlayStation resurgence. Is like, what sample CDs did all of these old studios have to use?
Yeah, or like
And
sound
so
fonts that you're choosing. Yeah.
exactly. So I just kind of became a data hoarder and just started like picking all these things up, like coughing up
So
tons
good.
of cash to get
Hell
all of
yeah.
these like
Oh,
stock
damn.
libraries.
Okay.
And then I like it just became this like one man studio presence where I have like terabytes and
Yeah. Oh,
terabytes
that's so
of
sick,
stuff that I
dude.
could pull
Yeah.
from,
It's all kinds
which
of
makes
samples.
it almost like I'm traversing a jungle where it's like, all
I'm
right, what am I
sure.
going to
It's
find in
just
here?
like,
Because it's
yeah.
like vaguely organized, and I don't know
Mhm.
where all the where all the good stuff is, because it's like not labeled like you'd expect. And almost, I'm not going to make it better.
Imagine.
That's going to take too much time
Yeah.
to organize everything. It's just it's controlled chaos. So I like a lot of that music of the time, and like again,
Mhm.
just like movies, the music of the time was a combination of it was popular and it was pretty easy to produce, like a pure MIDI sampler based kind of stuff. Just did not break the bank like getting
Yeah.
musicians to work on things.
Ooh.
And at the time, with samplers being new, you could just make your studio in a house or just in the office, and it would work. So I appreciated that just ragtag, like, well, we just got somebody to do this in the studio. We don't know if
Mhm.
they're really good. I guess they're standouts. Like everyone knows that, like the Spyro composer, everyone
Oh,
knows
yeah.
Andrew
Yeah.
Pope. It's
Mhm.
so there's always a bit of artistry that sneaks its way in that people like, I wouldn't have expected that in video games. Yeah, because
Mhm.
video games always had that like stigma of like, oh, you listens to video game music,
Toy
but
music, little baby
yeah, toy
sounds.
music. You want to listen to like your fucking Blues Clues soundtrack or something? It's but it's just music. So like, and
Yeah.
nowadays what we see with video game OSTs, it's still aggressively just music. It's just what people want to be listening to. I mean, who would have figured people want to listen to good music?
Yeah, I do
Who would
think
have thought?
going into that, there has been kind of a shift, especially with the popular games of the day, where especially with the PlayStation One, it was such a varied, it was such a variety of music, of genres and sound, and like people were willing to be more weird with it and crazy and bizarre things. Like if you compare, I mean, it's a huge stretch, but if you compare like the Ape Escape One soundtrack to let's say The Last of Us, it's drastically different. And I don't think necessarily in a good way, because I feel like it's moved towards like
This is
it's
such a
music.
different
Well,
experience.
I'm just saying it's like music that's trying to make you feel, it's trying to like elicit feelings the same as like an orchestral score for a movie, rather than like music for the sake of sounding good. Does that make sense, or am I talking out of my ass? I'm not really a
I
musician. I'm just a guy.
I feel like I get where you're coming from, really, because like music, when it comes to
No, I
a
hear you
game
too. Yeah.
experience, like it's a multimedia thing. It
Mhm.
has to have a purpose, you know, like make you feel something while you're doing something. I want to say like the problem with like the focus on orchestra is it's trying to legitimize itself like a movie, which is
Yes.
not wrong, but
Mhm.
it's kind of like a projected insecurity in the medium. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you need to respect video games because they could be a movie. And well, I think The Last of Us became a TV show. So that's
Yeah.
probably just the preferred evolution of that series.
Oh yeah, that's something Nick and I talk about all the time. Is that yeah, video games should not aspire. Their highest aspiration should not be to be a movie. That completely misses the point of what makes the medium great.
Exactly. Exactly. They
Yeah.
don't need to blush and cover themselves up for being themselves. Let it all hang out.
Mm-hmm.
They got stuff that only they can accomplish. Not having to wear the skin of a fucking, not even like a David Lynch film, wearing the skin of like a David Fincher movie at best.
Yeah.
Not even that. Like who's the guy? Brett Ratner. It's like a Brett Ratner movie. It feels like.
Yeah, but to your point about the music, Nick, I get what you're saying. Like thinking of something like a musical track that plays in an Uncharted set piece, right? It's very scripted. It's taking you to
Very
this
Pirates of the
moment.
Caribbean.
Whereas like other soundtracks are meant to just kind of immerse you like within a moment, or like a series of moments while you're there. And that is different. Those are different approaches. But going back to Blast Cats, with the game, I suppose, how much of the narrative are you willing to discuss on today's episode, if there's much to discuss?
I can give you bits and pieces. It's it's one of those things where I have like a destination, but the journey is still being fleshed out. And ultimately, because it's a little little platformer game, the story kind of has to sit kind of to the side a bit, or else it insists upon itself.
Okay. What challenges have you had in kind of setting up the narrative to be presented that way with your game?
Oh man, I want to say this is kind of in general to everything that I've been working on is restraint, but also knowing when to not be restrained. It's like I have lots of ideas, too many ideas, and it's like, well, how should I incorporate this super serious, dramatic idea? And then I have to pull myself away and say, this is a game about a pink cat. You can't go too far into that.
Or can you? I don't know. I think it'd be great if CC just dropped everything and ran for office and started committing political assassinations. I think it'd be really, really exciting stuff.
Well, there you have it. That's the story we're going with.
There you go. Okay. And we mentioned this kind of at the top, but you are a mostly solo developer on this project, correct?
Yeah. I do.
That's wild.
All the arts, all the programming, like 99% of the music. I got great buds that do QA, and they try to help find all the horrible mistakes I make. Let's see.
Very good.
Yeah. It's unfortunately just me mostly.
I mean, an act of wizardry, as far as I'm concerned. It's incredible. Any standout bugs from the hours of QA?
Yeah. Or anything that you'd rather keep in? Any fun ones, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, have any like design choices changed because of this?
Well, this one's not a design choice, but so there is this like music crossfade in the demo. When you like change from day to night, it changes to a different track. I'm doing it in a very strange way that involves multiplying a number by a really large number or a small number. There was a bug that you could beat the level, and we found out that if you beat the level at, I think it was nighttime, the volume would become 1,000 times larger and play the loudest sound possible to congratulate your victory. And then this is an old bug in the demo, but at one point, so my old demo was part of a collab called the Honda PlayStation 1 demo disc, and this was played by a pretty good streamer called Varg Skeletor.
Oh yeah, Joel.
Joel. He played the demo, and he discovered accidentally that if you were to Alt Tab out of the game while you do the like blast jump technique repeatedly, that you kind of build up speed, like those old Mario QPU videos.
Yeah, apparently.
And he's actually launched himself to incredible speeds and got super out of bounds. And that was fun watching that live. It was so funny. I don't know. I wonder if people think that that's like the worst thing in the world, but it's like that's great exposure.
That's cool.
Is that still in the game, or did you have to patch that out?
That kind of resulted in me changing the whole way it works, just because I was looking back at it. That being said, controlled chaos is an art, and I could figure out some way to make a nod to it. At the time, people were calling it the Joey boost because people call it Joey.
Some stupid name, always some stupid speed running strat name. Yeah,
speed running is interesting.
Yeah. Please.
I have people that are speedrunning the demos, and they always teach me like new tricks of, did you know that you could clip through this wall and then skip this entire segment? And I'm trying to like not be too anti-speedrun my patches, but sometimes I have to, because sometimes we're like, the layman can do this skip. Like I'd rather there be at least some sick technique involved.
Exactly. You never want to trivialize it.
Right. If it's something you can do, like as a baby could do on accident, just by drooling on the keyboard the right way, then that's not really going to be that fun. But something that's really difficult, it's exciting. It's worth it.
Oh man, it's fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to the Blast Cats speedrunning community when the game launches. Okay. Nick, any questions about the game?
Yeah. So you mentioned that as part of the haunted PS1 demo disc. How long exactly has Blast Cats been in development, and how has it changed from that initial demo to today?
Ooh, man, it's been quite some time. This is an unfortunate side effect to only working on this part time.
Mhm.
I got to go to work like everybody else.
Oh yeah, tale as old as time.
I think the absolute first time I broke ground on this would have been around 2019, maybe
Okay.
20. It's between 2019 and 2021. That sounds weird that I don't have a pinpoint right now. It's been a long time coming. But
Time was
uh,
especially soupy at that point anyway.
yeah, it was first like a little prototype I was working with, and it was really basic, and I just kept putting stuff on it, and I was like, oh man, you know what, this is maybe something. So here we are.
Yeah.
And then from that, that's how exactly did you get into the Haunted PS1 demo disc? Also, I want to know because I remember playing those when I was completely outside of this whole sphere and being like, "Wow, this is the coolest shit ever." So, how exactly did you get? Did they contact you, or you were able to find them, or you were already part of a group, and you all just had these exciting new things, kind of pushing in the whole PSX aesthetic, or what was the deal with that?
They got a open like competition. Like you submit your game, and then people will vote on like, oh, I liked that one, I didn't like that one, etc. And then the ones that did the best go on to be an official part of the disc. At one point, I also helped as a curator for a disc on the other end, just kind of as a thank you for letting me even be involved in the process.
Nice. You ever encounter any submissions that were just complete fucking garbage?
Oh yeah, no, there's that, and then there's stuff that's like, wow, my game looks like a piece of shit compared to this.
Mm-hmm. You're like just spitefully like, yeah, you guys, you don't want to play this one. Let's look
Yeah,
at
denied.
yeah, something about I don't know, derivative.
Oh yeah, no, it's always great to see something that really blows me out of the water because it's really easy for me to become a cynic, and I don't really get enjoyment out of a lot of the stuff that's coming out from the indie scene or the AAA scene. So sometimes it's good to lighten up and be completely blown away by something that's really neat.
Yeah, totally. Reminds you that why you even like this stuff in the first place. I get it. Fantastic. Okay, so with Blast Cats, when people are playing it, what exactly do you want people to feel? What should Blast Cats embody, and how should the player feel as they're playing it? What's your main goal here?
Well, if I could be selfish, and I don't know, if I could actually finish and release this thing in a way that sticks a landing, I would love people to go back and say, you know what, this is what I've been missing. Like, I want people to realize that no, you need to demand more from video games and developers and studios. That there's no reason why anything can't be great and fun when one person is capable of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Studios of many people should be able to make something more ambitious, way more ambitious and neat. That we need to like stop caring about graphics and focus on like the depth of gameplay. Like, could you imagine using all of our new graphics cards and whatnot to just have a game that's 100 times larger, but also like really great, like but that looks like, I don't know, a classic 3D Mario.
I saw a horrible post the other day where someone was like, "Oh, I played Mario Odyssey with my son when he was like 12, and there hasn't been a Mario game yet. He's gone off to college." And I just thought to myself, "Oh, if only there were other 3D Mario games." Like, hey, idiot, moron! There's a bunch of 3D Mario games
behind you. Yeah,
but yeah, it's true. It's people are so focused on the newest, hottest thing, the greatest graphics, the most realistic looking water. It's so easy to just completely disregard everything that came before it or dismiss it as not worth playing. I mean, this is the whole thing with the discourse too now, the whole LARPing discourse. People don't play the original games, but they want to act as though they have some sort of idea of what it was because they kind of seen it, or they just immediately are dismissive of it because, you know, their faces don't have textures or something. So that makes it worthless. And it's insane to me, you know, how dismissive people can be of these things. And I think that your answer, your idea is fantastic. Frankly, one of the best answers we've gotten for that question. And thank you for making that your goal. I don't think that's selfish at all. I think that's very, very noble in a way, actually. And I'm glad that you're doing it.
And looking towards the future, I suppose towards the future, is a release date in mind at this point, or is it still so much in the oven that you're going to, hold off on
It's
that.
definitely still cloudy, and I hate to say
Okay.
that.
Hey,
It's always
it's
like
fair, dude.
it's like
fine.
one of those things. Like never ask an indie developer when his
Mhm.
game is coming out.
Yeah.
It's that being said, I'm at a spot where I can get through it a lot quicker. I
Mhm.
spent a long time trying to figure out what Blast Cats needed to be be something on its own as opposed to just another blah little platformer. So with that idea, I'm really hoping to be able to really bust on this and get something within next year or two, optimistically.
Yeah. Have you had any experience like demoing the game to like having any live demos of the game yet, or is it mostly just amongst friends that you're doing the QA?
Oh, well, okay. So I guess me being as an unknown developer, I use outreach events as a way to get exposure and
Yeah.
QA. The most recent one is I was in a Steam Next Fest, so I have a demo that was live on Steam that got downloaded by quite a handful of people, and I think it was well received. There was also plenty of bug reports that I had to be frantically patching. And then before that, the Honda PS1 demo disc that made its rounds as a pretty popular pack at the time. So I guess I've been using those mainly. I haven't been to any conventions or anything yet. Like I haven't been to a PAX or a GDC. That would be cool. Maybe later in life. I'm kind of hoping that the next time I release something public, it's a finished product, not a demo.
Fair enough. Yeah. Beautiful.
Whenever that may be.
Yeah, whenever that may be. And I always like to ask our guests, when you're not spending your time developing a game, is there anything you're looking forward to playing right now? You mentioned earlier that you try not to be cynical about the state of AAA or indie. So I'm curious if there's anything out now that has kept your attention.
Well, I have lost an embarrassing amount of time to Mugenics recently.
My brother.
I like a good roguelike. I think those are really great to just peel away from what I'm doing, do a run of something. I think before that, I was into Balatro. I really like Spelunky and Spelunky 2.
Okay.
Then I keep playing through Noida, but I'm not good at it just yet. And then I'll have to kind of play games as a job. Like a lot, I try to plumb through some of the older PlayStation titles, things that I get compared to. My games get compared to a lot of other games. I think it's a nice mirror exercise where someone will experience Blast Cats and they'll be like, "This reminds me of a game I played as a kid," and then it'll be some game I've never heard of in my life, and I'm like, "Oh, neat! Maybe I should check that out and see exactly what they're talking about." And there's been some interesting ones, some Japanese games that I don't have any translations for. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And then a lot of European games. So it's stuff that I was never exposed to. It's a unique thing.
That's cool. Yeah.
As far as AAA goes, Resident Evil 9 was looking kind of cool, but I'm a Resident Evil stickler. So looking at it is kind of losing me. I don't know if it's that one's going to be for me.
What's your
anti-remake? More of a tank controls guy?
I remember liking the remake of 2 a lot. 3 was okay, but really short.
I just replayed that one. Yeah, it is just okay.
Yeah, it's hard to beat the original remake of 1.
It's a classic.
I didn't, and then I haven't. I played through 7. 7 was really fun, and then I didn't pick up 8 or 9 because it just kind of felt like I don't know. I'm weird. I like the Resident Evil that was more about like the classic T-virus zombies, not like werewolves and Frankenstein.
I think you'll like 9 then.
I've seen quite a bit of 9, and so like it has that like, oh yeah, we're kind of back to the original formula, but then it starts kind of pulling in the stuff that I didn't care for from like 6 and other stuff. And I'm like, I know really that's Resident Evil, so I need to change my ways. But it was maybe I'll give it a shot. Games are expensive, man.
They are. Totally.
It's a huge risk to pick something up. So I guess sometimes I'm guilty of just watching a YouTuber or streamer play through something.
You know?
my God. Unforgivable.
Oh, fraud alert.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, it's totally fair. Well, before we get into our community Q&A, any words of wisdom for prospective game devs or artists or musicians? Anything that we haven't touched upon in today's episode yet?
Oh man, commit to the bit. Do not pull punches. Take things serious. I think the most irritating thing for me about any sort of like experience in a game, especially from indies, is they love fourth wall breaking. They love this is just a silly small little game of no importance. So we're just gonna put in a bunch of internet jokes and stuff that no one cares about. At least I don't. And I just like something can be really funny and lighthearted, but also completely serious to itself. Like maybe not serious, but like respectful
sincere.
of itself.
You know,
Play it
sincere.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing worse than that, like the irony poisoned kind of thing, where like, oh man, I could have really made this a touching moment, but I had to say something like, so that just happened.
Yeah, because we're uncomfortable. Yeah.
Like
we're totally with you.
Sometimes you just gotta let something stand on its own legs and be unapologetic for it. And games should also be about the game and above all else, not like weird obsessions or like social commentary. They might have some places in like I guess a more like adult oriented game where I don't mean like I mean something more that's for like the thinking person. That's where I would expect a message to be placed, like maybe like Disco Elysium.
Oh, God.
But like
sing all the right games.
Oh yeah, I guess like let me mention more games. Oh, one of my absolute favorites, Planescape Torment.
Ooh, there he goes. Avalon. Yeah. Right on.
Planescape Torment is a huge source of inspiration for Blast Cats in a weird way.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm rambling to that point. I don't know. Just stick to your guns, be sincere.
No, I mean,
excellent.
That's perfect.
Yes. Don't inject your fetishes. Don't accidentally inflate your characters. Don't, spank them.
Tell me about it. Like I'm in a fucking minefield. I can't do anything. Like I have people like I'm gonna be up front. I'm a normal person. That's it. That's the secret. I have suspicious requests a lot. Oh, I need you to could you flatten your character into a coin shape? Can you I really like when her head became a bomb. Can you do more of that? Oh, can you actually make all characters be dizzy for a second? I'm like, oh, I wonder why. I wonder why.
Can you have CC puts on some shoes and take them off with giant stink lines? You can make enemies smell it and pass out.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I figure. Unfortunately, that's the side effect of having a charming design. Is you get a lot of people who
like the degenerates come out of the
interesting reasons.
Yeah, I mean,
you
know what? I get it. It's weird. I can't be too mean, right?
No, you can.
Yeah, and we're not puritanical over here.
Okay,
we're not shaming
I'll be
anybody.
really mean then.
Yeah, please.
I kind of this is kind of like going into my thoughts. So I loathe the idea of fandom. You can just like something and like not have to like marry everything with it.
Yes.
I think a lot of people make assumptions about my game because of the content, and like I can guarantee you, like almost all assumptions are incorrect. Like you don't. It's like a chicken and egg thing, but like with a distinct like there was always like a talking cat before people got weird about it.
Yeah. Right. Bugs Bunny, when he was first made, there weren't people obsessing over him dressing up like Marilyn Monroe and fucking Daffy Duck. That came way later.
Oh, man.
And here we are today.
Exactly. Yes, look up Blast Cats on DeviantArt and, send it back our way. Tell us what you found.
Yeah. Oh, no, I haven't seen anything like that.
All right. Let's move into our community Q&A to close out today's episode.
Yeah, we got quite a bit. All right. So first off, from Australian correspondent Hugh Man. We already asked these first two questions, so I'll just skip those. And have you ever experienced a paranormal cat? Whatever that means.
No. Next question.
Great. Right. Thank you, Hugh.
Thanks, Hugh. Lulupa asks, why cats?
I think people like cats quite a bit.
Are you a cat person yourself? Are you amongst those people? I'm a bit
more of a cat person than a dog person. Cats are I think cats are more comedic, like Tom and Jerry. or like Itchy and Scratchy, like that kind of thing.
Was there ever any consideration for another mascot character or like type of mascot character?
Maybe an alien.
An alien.
Good. Right. Okay. And then from Ant Toys, which I think is what Hugh was hilariously riffing on. Have you ever experienced a paranormal event?
Yeah, once or twice. And I figured it out. I solved it.
Right.
Okay.
So it just became a normal event. Wonderful.
Yeah, we pulled the mask off of him.
Can't believe it was old man Jenkins down the lane. Yeah. Is buying a house with your Kickstarter funds the same as using it to develop a game? Yeah, I would say so. If you're a solo guy, I would say so.
Yeah, I guess it gets kind of muddy there. I don't take any money at the moment. I feel like if I were to take money though, I would like to have like an audit I could return. Like this is where this went, this is where that went.
Yeah.
So it's not like so it's not like, oh, I got a third house that I'm using to rent out to be a slumlord.
Right. Yeah. It was like, you see, guys, I get constant income so I can keep working on the game for you. I'm a slumlord for you.
Yeah.
If you reach $1.5 million, you'll get the Blast Cat plushie.
I think Ant Toys may have assumed you're a girl. If I asked you out on a date, would your answer be the same as the one to this question?
I'll break his legs.
There you go, Ants.
And I'm going to try to pronounce this. How would you translate Rintushta Koe to convey that it indicates a voice that is both clear and refined, but also frigid and commanding?
Is Rintushta Koe, is that like a archetype?
I think it's...
Is Antoine asking you to say it in the tone? Or?
No, I think he's saying like localizing it or something.
Oh, is it one of those concepts of like, well, this doesn't have like a one-to-one thing to translate?
Yeah, you know, like the whole like can't be helped overuse thing in translation. I think that's what it was.
I feel like, okay, first start with trying to get as literal as you can. And if it then try to bring in like an idiom or something. I don't know. I feel like the modern day translation racket or localization racket is mostly embarrassing.
Oh,
like, why is that? Why do you say?
Yeah, why's that?
Like, it's I don't know, some nitpicks. Like anything that's from like a southern regional dialect in Japan, like becomes like omitting all G's. Like everything's a contraction.
Oh yeah,
everything's like southern y'all.
Hey and y'all, you coming around here?
The consonant bend is mangled.
Yeah, and then because it's not that, it's definitely not that, and it almost kind of makes it so characters don't, or they're not allowed to be a character. They're just their accent. It's like they're just a stereotype.
Wow.
And then overt localization where they just kind of throw things away and just say, "No, we'll do it better," which is like putting in like zoomer
and things.
Yeah, like, no cap. Yeah,
and it's like God. I don't think the Japanese text said that, but moving on.
Wow.
So
surprisingly,
that's a weird one. Like a voice that is both clear and refined, but frigid and commanding. I guess I would think like
the direct translation is dignified voice.
That would just probably be like someone in the aristocracy, you know, someone that is hoity-toity and I don't know, like has evening or afternoon tea, and like so you want somebody that's kind of stuck up and looks at people like they're
poised.
Dirt.
Yeah, like a dandy.
But at the same time, it's like I don't know. It's like a rose. Like roses are delicate, but they're covered in thorns. So I guess go from there.
There you go. Rule of rose. You heard it here.
Coming
in. Yeah, next time. Yeah, coming in from Goon. Top 3 cartoon cat women. Like your rank.
Once again, I think this goes into the assumptions that you were talking about with this question.
I kind of saw this question earlier when you posted it to me, and I'm honest when I say like I don't think I can list 3.
Can you
list one? I'm glad.
Well, amongst the 3 of us, here we go. Nick, you start. Who's a cartoon cat woman?
Felicia from Darkstalkers, I guess.
Oh fuck. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Okay,
yeah, that's fine.
Oh, what's the cat girl from Outlaw Star?
Oh, Aisha.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I love
you guys are so good. Yeah.
I kind of misunderstood the homework. I thought they were talking like Tom and Jerry.
Oh, no, I hope not. I have to long.
I guess it's the same. You know, either like a literal cat woman or a.
I was saying like a woman with cat-like features.
I guess Catwoman from Batman. I don't like comics.
Selena Kyle, yeah. There you go, Goon. I hope you're satisfied.
There you go. We did it all together.
And last question from Sheepover. What's your favorite animal to see at the zoo?
Man, I haven't been to the zoo in like 20 years, but
You got to go back. You want to talk about inspiration? Go back to
probably
the
like
zoo, man.
probably like a monkey or a shark if we count aquariums.
Okay, we'll count the aquarium.
Monkey, yeah, they smell horrible, but yeah, they're cool.
I think that's all animals.
They smell like shit.
Fair,
Yeah,
fair.
they love to do it. They love shitting. It's like their top 3 activity. We have a bunch of additional questions from the one Buns I didn't write down because honestly, they missed the deadline. But I think one is actually worth asking, or 2 are worth asking. One, what was the genesis of realizing that the formula of boss cycles in games like Crash and others in that PS1 mascot game genre fit well with the combat and movement tech of games like Bomberman?
Well, oh yeah. I think this is about the troll mini boss I have in the demo, which is like pretty much a Papu Papu from Crash clone, which is funny because I didn't intend to that. It was an accident.
Serendipity.
It was serendipity, right? It's I'm just trying to see what works. The main core vehicle, every indie game steals a game, right? Like to rip off. My first one is Wario World, which is why I have this camera that everyone hates because it's unique to that. But that's about the Wario character who's like a brawny, stout man. Everyone knows Wario at this point. But so now I got a little daintier character that throws the bombs and it does more finesse stuff. So I kind of viewed it as like, what if you played as an unlockable character or something in a game that plays completely different, and just to change the experience up? Because you could just copy the whole thing and you just jump on his head and then he takes damage and that's how you beat it. No, I would prefer at least what if you couldn't do that? You had to just play by different rules.
Something more exciting, something outside the box. Yeah. Speaking of Wario World, did you ever think about making a really abrasive, horrible pause menu track like that, or was that always off the table?
It's not off the table still. We got to figure out where to go from that. So most of the characters in my game are women, and that's a different dynamic than really leaning into a fart and gas man.
Really crass, disgusting, strong.
So it kind of changes the meta a little bit of how do you handle obnoxiousness, annoyingness, and I'm definitely trying to figure out ways to make it work and interesting. A lot of not just Wario, but the main villain that's introduced in the demo. She's inspired by my takes on the old Robotnik from the cartoon. And
really?
There's this old game that is I think notorious. It's called I Am Mean. It was on the CDI and had these animated cutscenes. Yeah. Basically, it had these characters that just reveled in rottenness and being really over the top and flamboyant. That's I'm just trying to figure out how to do that while respecting some amount of femininity.
Fair enough.
Okay. I think it's going in the right direction. I think it's good. And the other question is, was the music genre selection a natural intuition, or did you have another initial first choice? I think that's just the song selection in the demo, a kind of more jungle D&B sound.
The genres used.
Pure natural intuition, because I wanted to make something of the time.
It evokes the same feeling.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love rave music. I love early jungle. I love all of the weird things that spun off from it. At one point there was a really nice website. I think it was all in Flash, so it's dead now. But it gave you a visual top level of the evolution of electronic music and what genres became what. So I was oh wow, now I know what dubstep came from dub and two-step when they combined, and things like that.
Now I know the difference between breakcore and D&B and all this.
Yeah, I mean, you can get lost in that, and totally. I don't know if I've ever succeeded in making a song the genre I ever intended it to be. It's almost like it's a sign to you from the public of this is that track. I think I got specific and labeled one track as, well, this is technically a big beat, like a Fatboy Slim kind of thing, but I don't know if anybody would care to, that's for the big beat genre.
Be that pedantic, yeah. Totally. What just slightly unrelated, but what software are you using these days when you're
all
making your music?
Ableton. At one point, I had like an FL Studio for the longest time, but then I saw Ableton. It just had a bit more to it. Sometimes I use not FL Studio for like initialing here and there, but it's mostly Ableton.
Okay. Very cool.
And then plenty of VSTs. Like I think I own almost every big name VST on the market that I can afford.
Okay. Right on.
Nice.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the Q&A portion of the episode. Listeners, thanks for sending in those questions. As
thank
always,
you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Keep doing it, even though I act the way I do when I.
We love it. We love it. And Blast, that kind of brings us to the end of today's episode. So where can they find the game, and where can they find you or your music, for that matter?
Okay, well, the game that has a demo, you can go find the Steam page, and it's playable now and forever. And that's also where you'd be able to wish list to see updates on release schedule, or maybe new opportunities for playtesting. And for development updates, I post to YouTube, my Twitter, and I do have a Discord for the more dedicated fan that is there for people to ask questions or just say things or whatnot. I'm trying to make it like a Thunderdome where 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. I don't want that to be a safe space. I want it to be a very bloody area.
All right.
And pretty much if you just look up Blast Cats, I think at this point I'm like the first result. You can go to blastcats.com. Yeah, they can go there. I'm not even kidding. And then that's where you'll find links to everything. And if you want my music, it's mentioned very early, but there's a SoundCloud with my music name, which I don't know why I called myself this, is Puke Deluxe. PUKEDELUX. No E at the end.
No E. That's right.
Yeah, and but things like the soundtrack for the demos, they're also all on YouTube. So, and people have already ripped the soundtrack off of YouTube and put it on websites. So there's probably plenty of ways to get your music fixed.
Beautiful. Yeah. Listen to it while you work, while you drive.
Listen to it while you make bombs, you know?
Exactly.
Really get into the spirit of the game.
Yeah.
That's a secret wish of mine. I kind of hope that there's a Blast Cats.
Unabomber,
someone out there just like, getting down to it.
Either that or like slapped on like a Moab.
That's who you have to get to in your Thunderdome to interact. You have to get the guy who wants more flattened CC models and the guy who's Unabomber 2 to interact. And
there you go.
Yeah, like I will do your niche fetish request, but I need you to like make this wooden box full of nitroglycerin and mail it to somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Blast, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, real pleasure having this conversation.
That was great talking.
Thank you. And as always, we'll have our information in the links below. We've been Video Ditch. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep on gaming in the free world.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.